Good morning. I am Puneet Gupta, lecturer in GPCG Patiala. I am here to present my lecture on testing and the quality insurance as a topic of system design, system analyzing and designing. As we all know, system design is one of the main component, one of the main thing we have to do. There are many phases in our system design we have to follow. Firstly, we have to study the system, then we have to design the system, then we have to implement the system. In all of these, the testing is one of the important phase. Without testing, we are not able to provide the correct information to the user. So I just give my lecture on testing and the quality insurance. Now start with the lecture introduction. The logical design of information system and physical implementation of design is completed. When the logical design and the physical implementation of a system is completed, then the testing phase is initiated to ensure whether the system is correct or not. We find that whether the given system, the made system is corrected or not, this is done by the testing phase. Testing is the most important phase in the SDLC. As we all know, SDLC consists of different phases, and in which testing is one of the important. The effective testing led to discover more error in the software. With the effective testing, we discover the errors present in the software. Without removing that error, we are not able to get the desired output from the software. So it is very necessary to remove the errors, the bugs from the software. It is better to remove the error at the early stages. If I discovered it later, it costs me more. It also affect my project more. Even we have to make it again if I find it late. The testing is used to test whether the system is according to the user requirement or not. This system which we are covering is according to the user requirement or not. Testing also used to determine the desired quality of the system. It also determine the quality of the system. Now testing is a process of finding the error. It's a process to find the bugs, error from the system, in which the system is operated with the sample inputs and the sample output, and we get the output from that sample inputs. We test that output for its correctness and the accuracy. Before implementing a new system into the operation, a test run on the system is done for removing the bugs. We run a test run on a system to remove the errors from it. The output of the test run should match the expected results. We match that output with the expected results. Efficient testing often relieve the shortfalls in the system. We remove the various shortfalls, we remove the various disadvantages in the system by using the testing. Testing is first done at the developer end. We done it at the user at the developer end, and then we done it at the user end. Firstly, we call it alpha testing, and other one we know as a beta testing. All this testing is done at the done for us. Testing is done at each phase, each and every phase of the SDLC. We do the testing, as it is costless if it discovered in early stages. If we discover the discover the error at the early stages, then it costs me less. Now the various table, the various phases at which we discover the error and the cost for that error. If I find the error at the requirement stage, then it cost me rupees 1. It cost me 1 rupee. And if I find it at the design stage, it costs me 3 to 6 rupees. After that, if I find it at the coding stage, then it costs me rupees 10. And if I find it at the development testing, it costs me 15 to 40 rupees. And if I find it at the acceptance testing, then it is cost me 30 to 70 rupees. And at the operation testing, it may be lead to the 1000 rupees. Now the error which I covered, which I find at the requirement stage at rupees 1, it goes up to rupees 1000 at the operation stage. So it is very necessary to find the error at the early stages than the later stages. Now the basic principles of testing. For an effective test, we need to understand the various principles of the testing. The basic principle of testings are: all tests should be traceable to user requirement. Whatever I want to test is according to the user requirement. We have to satisfy the user requirement in that. Second one, plan the test before testing. When we have to test anything, we have to plan that test. We have to plan the manner in which we perform the testing on the software. Third one is testing should begin from smaller unit and process towards a larger unit of the software. And testing always start from the smaller unit, from the smaller part, from the smaller module to the larger module. We first do the unit testing, that is on the single modules, and then we goes to the integration testing, which is a combination of each and every module. Fourth one, you cannot test every combination. You should know this thing. We won't able to test each and every combination of the we won't able to test each and every combination in the circuit, in the software. So it is very necessary to cover all the common combinations. And fifth one is let the third party conduct the test, because sometime user which make the project not able to find it error, the user which want to use it, it also not able to find that test. So always required a third party, a third person which tests your software for us. Now the various types of tests which are doing in this. First one is online response. It is a time between when we submit a query and the result appear on the screen. It is a time interval between the query is submitted and the result is appear on the screen. And second one is volume. As many as record we are given to the system at the same time. The number of things, number of the records we are given to the computer, and the computer work properly and the software or hardware will function properly is known as a volume. Stress testing, it is the system which perform under the peak loads. We give the testing under the peak load, and the testing performed under this condition is known as a stress testing. Recovery and security. The method of data recovery define the system works well. If we want to recover the data, if there is any kind of error in the system or any kind of power failure in the system, then there is very much necessary to recover that data, to secure that data. For that we need a recovery and the security. Usability and the documentation procedure. For a friendly use, for the friendly nature of the system, we have to make it usable, and documentation procedure has to be done for that. All of these 5 tests have to go through a software have to go through for the proper testing. Now the test data. Before we provide a test, before we test a software, we have to prepare the test data for it. Now the test data is a sample data which is according to the user requirement. It is according to the user input to the system. We define a test data, sample data to the system, and effective testing is only done if with the effective test data. If the test data is effective, only then the effective testing is done. The test data are the sample data selected to the test the system. The test data should be similar to the actual data which is handled by the system. Test data may be specially created, or it is be replicated from the user files. They are biased towards typical values. We just aim from a typical value. We give the range, starting range and the ending range of the values. We start from the starting range and goes up to the ending range, and we give that values, and we our aim is to test the data. Our aim is to limit the proposed system. In large system, in large databases, large softwares, we have to generate this test data by using a specialized computer program. We apply a special computer program to get that test data. Now test plan. Test plan is a document, is a method, is a way to plan to remove all the errors from the system. It make the system error free. The test plan must be able to test each and every function of the system with every possible input. We test each and every function of the system by the possible input. It consists of sequence of tests that are to performed on a system. We give a number of tests so that it can performed on the system. It is a systematic approach to the test. In a proper system we provide this plan. The plan is typically contain the detailed understanding of what the eventual testing workflow will be. It provide the detail, it provide the method but eventually play. The test plan compromises of planning activities that decide how and what test will be conducted on the system. It provides us, it tells us how and what test we have to conduct on a system. The plan is very important thing. With the planning, we test each and everything in the system, in the proposed system. Now the various activities of the test plan. When we plan a test, the various activities are done. That activities are preparation of test plan, specify condition for user acceptance, prepare test data for program testing, prepare test data for transaction path testing, planning user training, compilation, assembling of the program, prepare job performance aid, and preparation of operational document. These are the activities that are done under the test plan. Now discuss each of them one by one. Now the preparation of test plan. It consists of output expected from the system. It tells us what the output we expected from the system. Test data, it gives us the test data, the various data which we have to test, the data on which we have to perform the test are given by this. Guidelines for using the test data, the guidelines how we use the test data, condition for evaluating the output, the various condition to get the output, and the personnel and training requirement. All the requirements, all the evaluating data, test data, guidelines for the test data are done in this phase. Now the specify condition for user acceptance testing. This is the second phase of activities. This condition drive the test plan. Now we drive the test plan into the action. This test schedule should be specified in advance. In this phase we tell which time interval we need to do the testing, the time slot for the testing. Prepare test data for program testing. For program, test data are prepared and documented to ensure the program for tested properly. When we are to test the program, then we ensure the program document which we have to test. Now the third step, prepare test data for transaction path testing. It is required for testing every condition and transaction which is performed in the system. In this, we check each and every function, each and every condition in the system, so that there is no error in any of the yes or no condition. If sometime we check the yes condition, true condition in the system, but we can't check the false condition. For that, we have to check each and every true and false condition in the system. For this, planning user training. The objective of user training to prepare the user for testing and the converting the system. Before that system, there is another system on the user end, so we have to train the user for the new system. For that, we need a planning a user training. Compilation and assembling of program. It consists of objectives of the program, its use, the developer of the program, the amount of time required to execute it. It tells how this program is useful to us. It tells the objective of the program, how it is better from the another software, and it also tells what time it required to execute, what time it need to execute, whether it save your time or it not save your time, all are considered in this phase. Now prepare job performance aid. The material used by personnel to run the system are specified and scheduled in this process. All the softwares, all the hardware which are required by this software, this project, are decided in this. For example, if there is a list of input codes or a program codes we have to provide in this, all are satisfied in this phase of the planning. Now the preparation of operational document. It includes the copies of operational format required by the proposed system. There are number of the system which we have to include in the system. All the experience, training, educational qualification to the personnel which have to use this system, all the operational document for that system is provided, is required, is maintained in this phase. Now these are the various phases of the test plan. Now the various types of testing. Testing is done at the different levels, as we earlier discussed. It performed at each and every level of the software. So different type of test cases are designed for each level. Testing it start from the core of the software. We started from the module and move towards the outside of the software. The various type of testings are unit testing, integration testing, validation testing and system testing. There are the 4 type of testing which we have to perform. Firstly, there is a unit testing, then integration testing, validation testing and the system testing. In unit testing, we test a single unit, we test a single module. In the integration testing, we combine that modules which we tested in the unit and again test it. And third one is a validation testing. In that we test the software for the user requirement. And last one is system testing. In this we test the whole system before the implementation of that system. Now firstly we discuss the unit testing. Unit testing is a testing of individual module of the software. Here we test the smallest module of the system. We test each and every module individually. For in this testing, the programmer pay attention on smaller unit of the system. The primary goal of unit testings are it determine the extent to which processing logic satisfy the function assigned to the specific unit or module. It tells us the function which is assigned to the specific unit of the module. It also determines the logical and the operational requirement taken from the specification. It tells each and every logical and the operational requirement which are given by the user requirements, user specification in a SRS. It determines the accuracy of the input, various process and the output. It determines when we give the various input, process that input and what are desired output we are getting. It tells the accuracy of the output from the given inputs. Now we show it by the diagram. In a unit testing, there is a coding and the debugging first. Firstly, a program which we are make in this software in this part. Now we have to debug that program. For that we give each and every single module to the unit testing. Here we test each and every module individually. After that there is a integration testing. In the integration testing, we combine all the tested modules into a software and test each and every link between the unit testing. Now in unit testing, module interface is testing to ensure the proper flow of the information. In the unit testing, we check each and every module interface to check the proper flow of the information. Data structure are testing to ensure data integrity. Here data structure are tested to ensure the data integrity. There should not be errors in the data forms, data types. So we check the data structures. Boundary condition are testing to ensure the module operate properly. We check all the boundary condition, the upper limit of the boundary and the lower limit of the boundary for check to ensure that the module operate properly. Beside that, all independent and error handling paths are testing. Beside that, all the independent paths, error handling path are testing here. The various tests that programmers should perform in the unit testings are functional test, performance test, stress test and structure test. They all are done in the case of unit testing. The various uncovered errors which are leave behind by the unit testings are initialization error. It can't give us if there is error in the initialization of a variable. It can't give the arithmetic precedence error. If there is a error in the arithmetic equation, then it not given by the unit testing. It also don't give the comparison errors to us. It also don't give the mixed mode operation error to us. Now next one is the integration testing. The integration testing focus on the design and the construction of the software. In this testing, we design the software from the module we are earlier testing. Now we integrate all that to make a software. It is a systematic technique for constructing the program structure. Here we construct the program. Here we construct the program structure to make a to conduct the test on the errors. At the same time conducting the test to uncover the error, we are associate the each and every module with it. We conduct the test on each and every module and we combine that module in that testing. It should be conducted in the increment of for effective testing. We should done it in the increment phase. First we test the first module, then add the second module, then third module, so that we can do a effective testing. After each program passes its own test, then it linked to the another program. This testing is known as a integration testing. It is also known as link testing or a string testing. It ensures that program work together. Here we ensure that the whole program will work properly, work together. Now the various goals of the integration testings are compatibility and inter-module processing accuracy. For the compatibility, we discuss it. Compatibility means our single module will be operate in various conditions, various environments, and the results are correctly given to us. The various input are provided to the module and the correct answer is given to us. The various steps, various things we involve in the compatibility is the calling modules in the operational environment. We call each and every module in the operational environment. In the environment it actually have to work. We verify the module are called correctly. We call each and every module, call at its own time and doesn't give the errors. It doesn't give the any wrong answer to us. Inter-module processing accuracy. Check the data transfer between modules operate such as intent within our requirement and the specification. It check each and every module give the output according to the user requirement. Each and every module perform as per as user wanted. So in this we find the various user requirement. We check it with the user requirement. Now the various types of integration testings are. The two types of integration testing are top-down integration and bottom-up integration. Top-down integration, it is an incremental approach to construction of program structure. Here we use an incremental approach to make a program, to construct a program. Modules are created by moving downward through control hierarchy and beginning from the main control. Here we start from the main control module and then goes to the downward condition in the down path, so that we can create and we can test each and every module in the system. Now the second one is a bottom up integration. It is totally complement of the top down integration. In this we start from the lowest level of the hierarchy and then goes up to the higher level. In this we start from the bottom and goes up to the upper condition. In the previous one we start from the top one and goes to the downward. We go toward the down bottom of the path, bottom of the tree or hierarchy. Now the next testing is the validation testing. The testing in which software constructed is compared with the software requirement listed in the specification is known as a validation testing. In this we test the software with the user requirement, whether we make a system according to the user requirement. So user requirement all are tested in this phase. We all test these things in the validation testing. The validation testing is designed to ensure the following things. It check all the functional requirements are satisfied, all behavior characteristics are achieved, all performance requirements are attained, documentation should be correct, and usability and other requirements are met. All that things, functional requirement, behavior characteristics, all are done by this validation testing. There are two types of validation testing. First one is alpha testing and second one is beta testing. The two type of testing are done by us for the validation of a software, for the validation of a given product. There are two types of testing. First one is the alpha and second one is the beta testing. Alpha testing is done at the developer end. It is done at the place where it is actually implement. It is where it is developed by the programmer. It is done at that time, and the beta testing is done at the user side where it has to actually use, and alpha testing is conducted at the developer side by the end user in the control environment. Here the user which have to use this system test the software at the developer side. He came to the developer side and test there for their requirements. Beta testing is conducted at the user end. without the developer. Here there is a no developer is there, here is no developer, and user conduct that test at that place. It serves as a live application of the software. It is a the software which we have to give to the user. The live application of that software is given to the user for the testing. In this condition, we test each and everything according to the user needs. The user record all the problems which he encountered during the running of the software and report all that conditions to the developer. He record all that conditions, all that problems he have encountered, he has occurred during his working, and report it to the developer and tells to the developer that this kind of error, this kind of problem he achieved during the running of the program, and developer make sure that to remove that errors, make sure to remove that problems from the software. Now the fourth one is system testing. After each and every testing, we have to done the system testing. System testing is used to fully exercise the system. We have to exercise each and everything of the system to test it. It validates the system to implement in the operational environment of the user. Here we validate the system, we check the system for that whether it is run in the user environment or not, where it actually have to operate. To use the system, it is integrated with the other elements. To use that system, we have to combine that system with the various elements such as hardware, peoples, and the information of that system. So we combine that system with that and provide the information accordingly. It includes the series of integration and the validation tests. In this test, we perform the series of integration and the validation testing with each and other elements. With other element, we perform the number of tests here. Each test has a different function. Every test perform a different function to us and give us different verifying elements to us. In system testing, we check the turnaround time, backup time, file protection, and human factor. Here we check the turnaround time, in how much time we get the output, how we get the backup from that system, file protection, the various security measure in the system, and the human factor, the various human factors in the factor used in that software, all are tested in this phase. Now the various types of system testing. The various types of system testing. The approach is to test each smaller units separately, and then modules are bundled together and again tested, and this is carried on till all modules are integrated to form a system. Here we use a system according to the system testing. The various type of system testings are recovery testing, security testing, stress testing, and the performance testing. The various types of system testings. Now the system testing. In the recovery testing. Recovery testing is a test for recovery from the system fault. Here we recover the system from the faults where the various faults which occur. Here we check whether how much a system should take a load before for the recovery. This testing forces a software to fail in the variety of the ways and verify the recovery improperly performed. We check whether the recovery is performed or not. It tests reinitialization, checkpointing mechanism, data recovery, and restart for the correctness. It checks each and everything. Stress testing. Stress testing execute a system in a manner that demand resources in the abnormal quantity, frequency, or volume. We provide the large amount of data to the system. Whether we check how much limit to it extent it should run with the large volume of the data. This type of test is done by the stress testing. Now security testing. Security testing verify the protection mechanism. It is check about the security of the system. It saves the system from the improper access, from the illegal access. So this type of testing is done by the security testing. Now the performance testing. Performance testing tests the runtime performance of the software. Here we test the time performance. Here we check the time required to do its operation, the time required for a system to do its operation, all are done in this phase. It coupled with stress testing usually require both hardware and the software. It required both hardware and the software. It can uncover the situation led to degradation and possible system failure. If we don't test this performance testing, then we degrade the system or it led to the system failure. So it is very necessary to do all kind of this testing. Now all of these tests are done according to the ways, according to the method which we have to perform and which we won't have to perform. For that we have various testing techniques. The system can test in one of